So here's what I was wondering. Okay, so I don't think it's fair for transgender people to compete against regular people who were born different sexes. So a transgender woman should not be able to compete against transgender regular women because a transgender woman was a man identified as a male when they came out of their mother's body. Therefore, they should not be able to compete with females who were identified as a female when they came out of their mother's body. Now, we have Special Olympics. Now, here's what I don't get. Here's here's what I don't get. If we have Special Olympics, why do we not have Transgender Olympics? We got Special Olympics, which means everybody in there has a handicap. Okay, so when you are a transgender, when you are born a man and you identify, when you were born a woman and you are, I'm sorry, when you were born a male and now you identify as a female and you're, I don't know, 15, 16 in high school, and then you say, you know what, I want to be a female, I want to be recognized as female. Then you go and run against the females and you clearly kick all their behinds. And now we're looking at that going, okay, this is just unfair, right? So why doesn't the high schools, the colleges, and beyond have transgender sports? That way, all is fair in love and war. If you were born a male and now you identify as a female, then you run with the people born males and now identify as females. Now, somebody even say, "Why do you care? It's not your business." Actually, it's everyone's business. Okay, I mean, it's not. It's not a personal affront to me, but it takes away from the validity and the joy of watching sports. You people are not going to go out and run unless somebody's watching you, and being that is how a lot of these people, where everybody in sports makes their money off of us, then we should have a say so. It's not no, I want to come into your house and what you're doing. I don't care. But when you come outside of the house and you say, pay me to do what I do, watch me do what I do, and then pay me for it, I have the right to say absolutely not, because you're working for my dollars, and if I don't want to give you my dollars, it is my choice then. Okay, now it's my choice as the audience to say absolutely not. I'm not going to pay to watch a transgender male run against a woman. I think it's unfair, and look, when it comes to track and field, I'm a track and field dude. I love track and field. When it comes to track and field and or just sports, there is always somebody trying to, win in some kind of weird way. There's always somebody who's in the marathon who comes out of the bushes and wins the marathon, find out they didn't run the whole marathon. There's always somebody who's got an extra something, where people are, once they find out, it's unfair. It's unfair. Usain Bolt lost. Okay, Usain Bolt lost a gold medal because somebody on a 4x4 on his team was dinged for using drugs. Okay, boom. So Hussein, so they was like, he used drugs when you won this medal. All of you got to give up that medal. See, I think that's wrong. I think what they did to him was right, but what he did was wrong. You know what I'm saying? So get him out of here because you're not playing fair. I think the field should be as fair as possible and no one should have an edge. That's it and that's all. If you're using drugs, get that person out of there. If you're born a man and now you act like a woman, get that person out of there. That person should be running with people who were born men and now act like women. And yeah, I'm with that. You know what? And I'll watch it. If they're good at what they do, I mean, if they're out there, and when I say I'll watch it, I don't want to see the first transgender woman to run, 11 seconds. It's like, you're a man. Okay, 11 seconds is fast, but come on. If you're not doing 10 seconds and under, then I don't really care. Like, I'm not gonna watch that. The first transgender, you're the first one to do it, to even walk on the field like that. So now that doesn't mean anything to me. But if a transgender man walks out in the field and runs like a 998, I'm just like Wilt Chamberlain could run a 999, and this dude was quick at 7 feet. I mean, the dude was super fast. So people running at that speed, even though it isn't record speed, it's still ridiculous. Yeah, big kudos to you. You know what I'm saying? Big time. You know, that's what I'm talking about. So and the same thing with someone who is born a woman and decides to be a man. If she goes out there and slings a javelin, yeah, you know what I'm saying? At some ridiculous, length. I'm like, yo, I don't care what you identify. That's talent. And that's what I like. I like the sheer talent, but I don't like things to be unfair. So a lot of people are like, what business of it is yours? It is your business when you're the paying audience. I pay to watch you. I purchase channels in order to watch you. I spend time in order to watch you. You know what I'm saying? People buy your stuff. This is how you live. If nobody watches you, then you go by the wayside. Nobody cares about you anymore. We don't care what you can do. Nobody wants to watch you. So that's when you get us involved. And that's why I say in high school or in anywhere, you guys need to make it as fair as possible. And for you groups of people who are looking for legitimacy, well, look at the X and Y chromosome already. All right, get out of here with your legitimized. No, it's legitimate to see your little girl so repulsed by the sport, that the love of running that she had to run the 100 as fast as she could. The love just seeps right out of her soul. And you're watching this is because she's running up against a male. She's not going to win. Last year she was running up against all females, and she may not have won all the time, but she was in there. And this year she was like, yeah, Becky with the good hair, I'm coming for her. Yeah, I know she runs or whatever, 13 flat, and I'm still at like 14 too, but this year, I'm busting down 13.5, and then I'm gonna be on her heels, and then next year, that's how we think. That's how we think. We're like, this is how I'm going to improve. This is how I'm going to catch this person. Even if you don't, it's still how you think. It motivates you. And it's not something that's just for that day. You're motivated for years to try to beat this time. Even when you're old like I am and you know you can't run, you still are dreaming that you can get out there and just hit the track and go. It's still in your heart. You're like, man, I used to do this even though you were slow, but it was fun. You get a catharsis, you get a runner's high off of it. I mean, listen, I used to run a mile in under 5 minutes, and I would go and do street competitions. Listen, I I would lose and be in such bliss that I just competed. It's there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. And you run as fast as you can, and then somebody's creeping right up on you, and they're older than you, and you can just hear this clack, 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 and you're all out. You're trying to get to the finish line. And listen, sometimes you just race for the time, but the whole thing is that you get a catharsis off of it. You get runners high off of it. The people screaming your name that don't even know you. Listen, one of my last race, I came in dead last. I was running a mile. I came in dead last. It was at a master's meeting. Most of the people I ran against were all younger. One kid was like 8 years old. That kid was gone. I just can't do it anymore. But I sprinted, and everybody was like, because they saw this old geezer running. There's nothing like it. And if you take that away from the people who were naturally born of what they are, you're taking away the very essence of the sport. And that's what I'm coming for. That's those people who are like, you need to stop this transgender nonsense. Make transgenders run against transgenders. If there's a Special Olympics, you're not going to have the Special Olympic people running against the normal people because they are at a disadvantage. It's your boy Tone 202. God loves you, so do I.